Tesla stock, the top performer on the S&P 500 today, and it's up more than 80% since the election just 6 weeks ago. But will that run last? Let's bring in Steve Wesley, founder and managing partner of the Wesley Group and a Tesla board member. Steve, thank you so much for being here. How much of this excitement do you think will actually turn into upside for Tesla? And where do you see the catalysts that really play into this stock price movement in 2025?
Well, look, 80% increase in share price just since the November election, that's nosebleeding territory. And the surge doesn't appear to be based on fundamentals or new profits. So I think 2025 is really going to be a big year for Tesla, make or break. Here's what investors ought to be looking for. I think you're going to see auto sales. Last year, Tesla, 1.8 million units. I think this year it's going to be about the same. That's flat growth. That doesn't really justify this big uptick. The real question is, how quickly can Tesla get this subcompact, sub-$30,000 Model Q into the market? I think that's going to be decisive.
Steve, it's Dom. One of the big dynamics developing right now is not just in terms of Tesla's market position with other EV company competitors. It is also about the competitive advantage of the U.S. versus China, the two biggest EV markets out there and producers right now. The policies that you anticipate coming out of the Trump administration, do you think it will be net beneficial not just for Tesla, but for the U.S. auto and EV industry when it comes to competing with the likes of China?
Yeah, so look, I think investors ought to be worried about that. Here's the reality. The whole world is going electric. China is the world's largest auto market, almost twice the size of the U.S. They import virtually no cars to the U.S., so slapping tariffs on them doesn't really have a big impact. But if we do that and China responds in kind, that could be really a huge problem for U.S. automakers who need to sell cars into China. But the reality is the entire world is going electric. 7 of the 10 largest EV makers in the world are China-based. The U.S. needs to up its game, and I think the U.S. would be wise to make it easier to sell cars in the U.S. This is probably not the smartest time to take away that $7,500 rebate.
And it certainly helps, of course, to have Musk in President-elect Trump's ear. But I'm curious if you're worried at all about a reputational issue or if there's an Icarus situation where Musk has kind of garnered all this power, but then somehow there's a souring or falling out of their relationship, if things could work in an adverse way for Tesla.
That could certainly happen. I mean, look, you've got two very strong personalities here. They seem to be best bros now. We'll see how long that continues. But I think the reality is Mr. Trump said he did not like EVs up until literally a few months ago. Now he loves them. Could that change back? I think it absolutely could. But the reality is people are buying more EVs all the time. And the reason is battery costs are going down. The U.S. needs to realize where the global auto market is going. We need to be encouraging not just Tesla, but General Motors and Ford to follow along. We need to sell more EVs in the U.S. as well as abroad. That's the way to win the auto wars.